If you've been feeling overwhelmed with all the Medicare Advantage changes coming in 2026, you're definitely not alone. In fact, over the last few months, more people than ever have been asking, is Medicare Advantage going to work differently next year? And honestly, yes, it really is. But here's the good news. Once you understand the flow of what's happening and why it's happening, it suddenly becomes a lot easier to make decisions. So before we jump in, do me one favor, comment your name and state below. I'd love to see who's watching and benefiting from these videos. It really helps me understand which states I should break down more often, because every area is different, and every plan is different. Let me start with something that happened recently that perfectly captures the changes coming in 2026. I was talking to a woman named Carol. She's 67, newly retired, and like many people, she felt overwhelmed by Medicare Advantage options. She said, "For years, everyone told me these plans only get better, but now I'm hearing they might get stricter, or networks might get tighter. I don't know what to believe." And honestly, that's exactly why I make these videos, because the truth is, Medicare Advantage isn't becoming better or worse, it's becoming more structured, more organized, more predictable. And yes, in some cases, a little more limited. But it's also adding protections, especially in areas like dental, drug prescriptions, and accurate provider networks. 2026 is a year of balancing. CMS wants to make sure that Medicare Advantage companies are offering what they promise, and not overpromising benefits that aren't being used. So what you're going to see starting in January 2026 is a landscape where plans are still competitive, but they're forced into being more realistic. Think of it like a house renovation. Sometimes you need to tighten a wall or move some things around to make the whole structure safer long-term. One of the biggest things people are going to notice in 2026 is the shift between PPO and HMO availability. For years, PPOs were the star of the show, go anywhere, see anyone, with flexibility that grouped a lot of seniors into the same pattern. But PPOs were also some of the most expensive plans for insurance companies to maintain. And in 2026, CMS is pushing plans to focus more on care coordination, accuracy, and cost control. That means more HMOs. More HMO POS plans. More managed choice. It doesn't mean PPOs disappear, but you'll probably notice fewer low-premium PPOs, fewer high-flexibility PPOs, and fewer PPOs with rich dental benefits. Insurance carriers simply can't sustain those benefits under the new CMS payment models. But here's the twist, and this is something most people aren't hearing from their carriers. Although HMOs often sound restrictive, the 2026 versions come with stronger oversight, more guaranteed coverage accuracy, and a lot fewer surprises. If you've ever had the experience of calling a doctor listed in a directory, only to find out, "Sorry, we don't take your plan," CMS is cracking down on that in a major way in 2026. Plans are required to keep provider directories more accurate than ever, real-time updates, tighter verification, and penalties if they allow misinformation. This means seniors like you will save a lot of frustration. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to waste half a day driving across town to a doctor who was never in-network to begin with. Now let's talk about one of the biggest questions I've been getting over and over: what's happening with dental in 2026? If you've watched my videos for a while, you know I explain things in a very straightforward way, and the truth is, dental and Medicare Advantage has been both a blessing and a headache. Plans would advertise $5,000 dental, but then you'd read the fine print and realize it only applied to certain procedures, or the reimbursement took weeks, or your dentist didn't accept the plan's maximum allowed amounts. People were frustrated. And CMS saw that. In 2026, Medicare Advantage dental is being reshaped, not necessarily reduced, but standardized. Some plans will still offer strong dental, especially in large metro areas, but you're going to see fewer unrealistic, flashy dental numbers. Instead, benefits will be clearer, more honest, and more transparent. You'll know exactly what is covered and which dentists participate. A woman named Rebecca told me last week, I finally feel like I can trust what the brochure says, and that's exactly the direction 2026 is heading. Another big change, the prescription drug integration that started in 2025 is now fully implemented, and in 2026, that means Medicare Advantage plans will follow the Medicare Part D redesign rules even more closely. This is huge. It means lower out-of-pocket drug costs for many people, especially if you take high-cost medications. The catastrophic phase now has smoother spending protections, and plans are adjusting to that. But here's the catch, not every drug formulary will look the same. Some plans are reorganizing their drug tiers, adjusting preferred pharmacies, and reducing some of the free extras to balance rising drug costs. So if you take even one name-brand medication, it's essential to review your plan every year. In 2026, doing nothing could cost you more than ever before. Something else people forget is how Medicare Advantage networks evolve year to year. In 2026, many plans are renegotiating hospital contracts, doctor participation agreements, and diagnostic networks. The goal is tighter, more reliable networks, but it also means you might see some of your longtime doctors move out of network or leave Medicare Advantage entirely. This isn't necessarily bad, but it does mean you should never assume your doctor will still accept your plan next year just because they did last year. I tell everyone the same thing, check, check, and check again, especially starting each fall. Now let's get into something that almost nobody talks about, how supplemental benefits will look in 2026. Things like transportation, meals, flex cards, and over-the-counter allowances. These benefits exploded over the last few years. Plans were throwing in everything from grocery cards to gift cards to utility bill assistance. But CMS learned something important. Not all these benefits were being used, and some were being marketed in misleading ways. That's why in 2026, you're going to see fewer gimmicks and more functional benefits. It doesn't mean everything goes away. Transportation and OTC will still be common, and some markets will still offer healthy food benefits. But the big flashy flex cards worth $2,000 may shrink or disappear in certain zip codes. The good news is that the benefits that remain will be more consistent and easier to access. No more complicated approval processes, no more "you qualify only if" confusion. Simplicity is the new trend for 2026. Seniors have been asking for it, and CMS is finally responding. One thing I want to highlight, something I always tell people when I talk to them one-on-one, is that Medicare Advantage in 2026 is going to be less about trying to win with flashy add-ons and more about finding the plan that matches your real life. If your doctors matter most, choose a plan that keeps your doctors. If your prescriptions matter most, focus on the formulary. If dental is a priority, choose a plan that specializes in it rather than one that just advertises a large number. The best plan isn't the one with the most benefits, it's the one with the benefits you actually use. Let me share a quick story that perfectly represents the 2026 shift. A man named Anthony from Florida called me and said, "I've been on the same plan for 8 years. I stayed because it had great extras. But now the extras are shrinking, so I think the plan is getting worse." But when we looked closely, his network remained solid, his primary doctor still participated, his cardiologist was still in network, and his medications were actually going to be cheaper under the 2026 redesign. He realized something incredibly important: the plan wasn't getting worse. It was getting more realistic. Less fluff, more substance. And he stayed on that plan because the parts that mattered most to him were still strong. That's why I always say, the worst plan for someone else might be the best plan for you. The best plan for someone else might be the worst plan for you. Medicare Advantage isn't one size fits all. 2026 makes this more true than ever. Another important piece of the 2026 system is care coordination. CMS is rewarding plans that reduce unnecessary hospitalizations, improve chronic care management, and proactively help seniors. So you may notice more calls from your care team, more wellness check-ins, more follow-ups after hospital stays. Some people love this, some people don't, but the idea is to provide better outcomes, reduce costs, and keep you healthier longer. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about something crucial: reviewing your plan every fall. I know it's easy to think, my plan worked fine this year, I'll just keep it. But 2026 is a year of restructuring, and even if you feel comfortable, you should still compare your plan every year during the annual enrollment period. Not because your plan is bad, but because next year's version of your plan might be different. And the version that fits someone else perfectly might not fit you at all. Here's what I tell everyone: don't wait until December 5th to look at your options. Don't assume that your favorite dentist will still accept your plan next year. Don't assume your $0 copays stay at $0. Plans change, zip codes change, networks change, drug coverage changes, and benefits shift every year. In 2026, these changes are bigger than usual. Just take the time to review. Your health and your wallet will thank you. At the end of the day, Medicare Advantage in 2026 isn't something to fear, it's something to understand. The system is getting cleaner, more organized, more accurate, and more truthful. Yes, some benefits may shrink. Yes, networks may tighten. Yes, PPOs may become slightly less common. But you're also getting stronger consumer protections, more reliable provider information, improved drug savings, and clearer dental coverage. And remember this: you are not alone in this. Millions of seniors across the country are trying to figure out these changes, and that's why I make these videos, to help make the process simple, honest, and understandable. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed. And comment your name and state below. I'd love to see who's watching. And if you want me to break down the 2026 changes in your specific state or zip code, tell me in the comments and I'll add it to my list. Thank you for being here. You deserve clarity. You deserve honesty. And you deserve the peace of mind that comes from understanding your coverage.